Guys, today we're talking about complete games that truly deserve the full price. And honestly, that should be the standard, but these days it's rare. There's a lot of trash being sold at full price that delivers little to nothing. But you know those games you play and think, yeah, this was worth every penny? Games with memorable stories, smooth gameplay, and moments that stick with you. The kind that make you sure you didn't waste your money.
Resident Evil 2 Remake. This game is the definitive example of how to honor a legacy without falling into the trap of cheap nostalgia. Capcom didn't just update the graphics, it rebuilt the sense of dread we felt in the 90s, now backed by technology that makes every shadow feel like a real threat. What impresses most here is the weight of the gameplay. You feel the impact of every bullet. Resource scarcity forces you to think twice before entering any corridor, and the zombie design is genuinely unsettling. They're not just targets, they're persistent obstacles that lurch forward and react to every shot in a physical, disturbing way. The Tyrant, or Mr. X, is a masterclass in sound design and psychological pressure. Hearing his heavy footsteps upstairs while you desperately try to solve a puzzle with a full inventory is the kind of tension that justifies the investment. It's an extremely polished title, free of unnecessary gimmicks, where every room in the Raccoon City Police Department serves a narrative or mechanical purpose. You finish the main campaign and immediately feel the urge to start over with the other character, to understand the nuances of the story. It's a complete package that respects the player's time and delivers a horror atmosphere that holds your interest from beginning to end, proving that a remake can indeed surpass the original in impact.
Clair Obscur, Expedition 33. It's rare to see a new title arrive with such confidence in its own visual and mechanical identity, especially in a genre many consider stagnant. Expedition 33 is a bold bet on turn-based RPG combat, but with a layer of reactivity that completely removes the monotony of simply selecting commands from a menu and waiting for animations to finish. The real-time defense and counterattack system demands your full attention every second of a battle. Blink and you miss the window to avoid a fatal blow. The world is one of the most artistic and bizarre visions in recent memory, blending a Belle Epoque aesthetic with a surrealism that defies logic. The premise of the painter, who erases ages from existence, is a fascinating concept that permeates the entire experience and lends a melancholic weight to the expedition's journey. What truly makes every cent worth it here is the care poured into the details, from the anatomical design of the monsters to the soundtrack that sets the tone for epic battles. It's a project that proves there's still plenty of room for innovation within traditional genres, as long as you have a powerful art direction and mechanics that reward players' skill rather than simply the accumulation of numbers on a spreadsheet. The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt. Even with the passage of time, this title remains the benchmark by which all other open-world RPGs should be measured. What makes the investment unquestionable here isn't just the sheer size of the map, but the density of what exists within it. In The Witcher 3, a side quest that begins as a simple hunting contract can evolve into a complex political drama or a deeply personal horror story that unfolds over hours. The writing reaches a level rarely seen in the industry, treating the player as someone capable of understanding moral nuance where there is no clearly right side. Geralt of Rivia is not a cardboard hero. He is weary, cynical, and profoundly human despite his mutations. The world of the continent feels lived in, grimy, and full of stories that don't depend on your presence to exist. On top of that, the post-launch support the game received and the quality of its expansions, nearly full games in their own right, demonstrate a level of respect for the consumer that should be the standard. You don't feel like you've purchased just a piece of software. You feel like you've acquired an entire library of epic tales where your choices genuinely shape the fate of kingdoms and people.
Elden Ring took the foundation they themselves created and expanded it to a scale that defies common sense for what an open world can offer. Elden Ring is the ultimate celebration of curiosity. The game doesn't hand you a checklist of tasks or a map cluttered with glowing icons. It gives you a vast horizon and trusts your desire to see what lies beyond the next hill. This faith in the player's ability to explore and uncover secrets on their own is worth its weight in gold in an era of hand-holding game design. Every new region discovered in the lands between brings a sense of discovery that becomes almost addictive. Combat is refined to an extreme, offering a wide range of playstyles that let you face challenges in a personal way, whether through raw strength, intricate magic, or agility. The bosses are visual and mechanical spectacles that demand dedication and learning, but the satisfaction of overcoming an obstacle that once seemed impossible is one of the most rewarding sensations video games can provide. World design, with its vertical dungeons and organically interconnected castles, is a masterclass in virtual architecture that justifies every hour invested in exploring its mysteries.
Days Gone. This is one of those cases where time ultimately did justice. At first, many people dismissed it as just another zombie game, but Days Gone delivers something few titles manage to achieve: a genuine connection between the protagonist and his means of transportation. The motorcycle isn't just a vehicle, it's your lifeline, demanding maintenance, fuel, and constant care. When you're stranded in the middle of nowhere with an empty tank and hear the sound of a horde closing in, the tension is real. And speaking of hordes, the technology behind having hundreds of enemies on screen at once is impressive. These aren't just mindless NPCs running straight at you. They're an organic mass that flows through the environment and forces you to use the terrain to your advantage. The open world of Oregon is beautifully dangerous, with a weather system that directly affects handling and enemy aggression. Deacon St. John's journey is long and takes the time needed to develop its characters, which makes you genuinely care about that world. It's a game that rewards persistence and planning, turning survival itself into a satisfying mechanic that justifies every hour spent exploring those abandoned roads. Rise of the Tomb Raider. Crystal Dynamics struck the perfect balance here between contemplative exploration and relentless action. What makes this game worth every cent is the design of the tombs and environmental challenges. Unlike other adventure games that treat puzzles as mere interruptions, here they are the main course, requiring you to understand the laws of physics and make smart use of Lara's tools. The Siberian setting is breathtaking, using snow and ice not just as scenery, but as mechanical obstacles that dictate the pace of progression. The survival and gear upgrade systems are straightforward and rewarding, encouraging you to hunt and gather resources to become the predator the game demands. Combat is extremely flexible, allowing you to clear entire camps stealthily or engage in direct confrontation using a variety of special arrows and improvised explosives. It's a cinematic experience that doesn't sacrifice gameplay depth for visual spectacle. You can feel Lara's evolution from a frightened survivor into a relentless archaeologist, and this journey is delivered with a level of technical polish rarely seen outside of top-tier, big-budget productions. Metro Exodus, the transition of the Metro series into more open areas, was handled with a level of mastery that preserves the claustrophobia of the original titles while offering a newfound sense of freedom. What makes investing in Exodus so worthwhile is its commitment to immersion. There's no HUD cluttering the screen. If you want to check the map, Artyom pulls out a physical one, and if you need to see how much filter time you have left, you look at the watch on the character's wrist. Each region you visit aboard the Aurora train has its own distinct atmosphere and culture, from the arid deserts of the Caspian Sea to swampy forests. Weapon maintenance is crucial. If you don't clean your rifle, it can jam in the middle of a firefight against a mutant, and this attention to detail truly makes you feel like part of that hostile world.
The narrative focuses on the bonds between the crew, turning moments of rest on the train into fundamental parts of the experience. It's a deliberately paced shooter where every bullet matters, and every exploration decision can result in a vital resource or a swift death. It respects your intelligence and delivers a journey of discovery that feels like a survival epic on a human scale. Ghost of Tsushima Sucker Punch created here a true homage to Japanese culture and classic samurai films, while structuring the game in a way that's a masterclass in organic interface design. The guiding wind is one of the best design solutions of the past decade, letting you explore the island of Tsushima without ever needing to glance at a minimap or compass on the screen. Combat is a dance of precision. You feel the weight of the katana and the significance of every block and counterattack. The transition between the honorable samurai and the ghost, who employs terror tactics, is reflected not just in the story, but in how the world reacts to you. The visual beauty of this game is nearly hypnotic, with fields of flowers swaying in the wind and forests that change color with the seasons. Beyond the main campaign, the game offers an extremely robust cooperative mode that alone justifies the full price. It's a title that exudes care in every detail, from the photo mode to the sword sheathing animations, delivering an open world where exploration is relaxing and combat is viscerally satisfying. Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag. This game is the perfect example of how a dramatic change of setting can save a franchise. Ubisoft took the foundation of Assassin's Creed and transformed it into the ultimate pirate simulator money can buy. What makes every cent worth it here isn't the war between assassins and Templars, but your ship, the Jackdaw. The feeling of sailing through the Caribbean with your crew singing shanties as a storm brews on the horizon is something no other game in the series has captured with such soul. Progression is extremely rewarding. You hunt treasures and attack naval convoys to turn your ship into a floating fortress. Naval combat is heavy, strategic, and visceral, making every approach and raid feel like a genuine achievement. When you dive into shipwrecks for upgrade materials or face the legendary vessels patrolling the map's corners, you realize the game's true value lies in maritime freedom. Edward Kenway is a charismatic protagonist precisely because he's a scoundrel chasing gold, which makes exploring the world feel far more honest and fun. It's a massive content package that never loses momentum. God of War 3 is a game that delivers visual spectacle and monumental scale from start to finish, setting the gold standard. Even though it's a title from a few generations ago, the art direction and combat fluidity remain impeccable. The investment here is justified by the grandeur of the battles against the Olympian gods. The game spares no jaw-dropping moments, even using the Titans themselves as moving combat arenas. Kratos is at the peak of his fury, and the weapons you unlock, like the Nemean cestus, completely change the dynamics of combat, offering a sense of power that few action games can convey. The pacing is relentless. There's no filler or tedious side quests, just a stretch playtime. It's a linear journey, but so dense and well executed that you feel the weight of every blow landed. The conclusion of the original trilogy is delivered with a technical polish that outshines many modern games that launch broken. It's the definition of a complete game, a focused, visually stunning, and mechanically perfect experience that makes every penny feel well spent. Cyberpunk 2077. Many were hesitant because of its disastrous launch, but today, especially after the 2.0 update and the Phantom Liberty expansion, ignoring this game is a huge mistake. Night City is without a doubt the most detailed and dense city ever built in a video game. The level of verticality and the atmosphere of each district draw you into a dystopian future in an oppressive yet fascinating way.
What makes this game's value sky high now is the freedom in character building. You can be a hacker who fries brains from a distance, or an urban samurai moving so fast that bullets seem to hang in the air. The narrative is personal and raw, with top-notch performances that give real weight to your choices. Combat has been completely overhauled, making firefights and the use of cybernetic implants extremely satisfying and fluid. It's an action RPG that respects your intelligence and offers hundreds of hours of high-quality content, from deep side quests to mercenary contracts that force you to explore every dirty alley in the city. Today, it delivers exactly what it promised: unparalleled immersion. Titanfall 2. What happened at this game's launch was a crime, but anyone who gave it a chance knows it has one of the best first-person shooter campaigns of all time. Respawn managed to create a genuine bond between pilot Jack Cooper and the Titan BT-7274, something many 100-hour games fail to achieve. The gameplay is a masterclass in movement design. The transition from wall running as an agile pilot to stepping into the cockpit of a multi-ton giant robot is seamless. Each campaign level introduces a new mechanic, like time travel or manipulating factory platforms, and drops it before it grows stale, keeping the pace frantic and inventive. In multiplayer, the skill ceiling and server fluidity deliver a competitive experience that remains a benchmark in the genre. You're not paying for a game that wastes your time with repetitive tasks. You're paying for masterfully designed levels and possibly the most refined shooting mechanics in the industry. It's short, but so good that you'll want to play it again as soon as the credits roll, and that's the highest compliment a game can receive. Marvel's Spider-Man. Insomniac didn't just make a Spider-Man game, they captured the exact feeling of being Peter Parker. The payoff is immediate, just the joy of swinging between New York City's skyscrapers in the first 5 minutes makes it worth the investment. The web-swinging mechanics are grounded in real physics, meaning you need nearby buildings to gain momentum, turning traversal into a rhythmic and addictive game in itself. But the real value lies in the balance between the hero and the man behind the mask. The story carries an emotional weight that many Marvel films fail to reach, treating villains with a humanity that lets you understand their motivations, even as you're covering them in webbing. Combat is an evolution of the Arkham-style formula, enhanced with agility and gadget use that perfectly matches Spider-Man's style. On top of that, the city feels alive, packed with details and interactions that make you truly feel like the friendly neighborhood hero. It's a polished, thrilling game, brimming with quality content that respects every minute of your time and every penny spent.
Red Dead Redemption 2. If there's a game that justifies its full price purely through its insane level of detail, it's Rockstar's masterpiece. Red Dead Redemption 2 isn't a game to be rushed, it's an experience to be lived. The realism here borders on the unbelievable, from how snow accumulates on clothing to the way the wildlife ecosystem interacts independently. You step into the shoes of Arthur Morgan on a melancholic journey marking the end of an era, and his character development is possibly the best ever written for a video game. The open world isn't just a backdrop, it's a living character that requires you to care for your horse, clean your weapons, and eat to survive. Every random encounter on the road can turn into a unique story. It's a title that redefines immersion, offering hundreds of hours of epic campaign gameplay and a world that continues to reveal secrets years after release. It's the kind of investment you make once, delivering a level of technical quality that will take decades to surpass.
Sleeping Dogs. This is, without a doubt, one of the most underrated games in history, and one of the best values for its price.
Imagine a Hong Kong action movie transformed into a vibrant and dangerous open world. As undercover cop Wei Shen, you live the constant conflict between duty and loyalty to the triads. What sets it apart is that, unlike other GTA clones, the focus isn't on firearms but on hand-to-hand combat. The fighting system is brutal and fluid, letting you use the environment creatively to take down enemies, whether it's throwing someone into an exhaust vent or slamming a refrigerator door onto a thug's head. The atmosphere of Hong Kong is dense, with noisy street markets, neon lights reflecting off wet asphalt, and a soundtrack that throws you straight into a crime thriller. The story is engaging, full of betrayals and high-tension moments. It's a complete game, with a strong identity and driving and combat mechanics that still put many modern titles to shame. If you want a game that delivers personality and fun without wasting your time, this one is worth every penny.
Buying a game these days is almost a gamble, but the titles we've listed here show that there are still developers who take the value of your money seriously. They don't just deliver code, they deliver complete worlds, stories that stay with you, and mechanics that respect your intelligence. When you pay full price for something of this caliber, it doesn't feel like spending. It feels like investing in an experience you'll remember for years. So drop it in the comments. Which game gave you the strongest feeling that your money was well spent? Let's share these recommendations so no one else falls into a trap. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.